What's going on, YouTube? It's No Fuss Giving Trey back with another video. And today I'm gonna be talking about the 50 reasons you should never play with a Pisces feelings. And I'm gonna break it down for y'all. So what really happens when someone plays with a Pisces feelings? Well, I'm gonna let you guys know, because one thing that can play with a Pisces feelings, it will be in regards to loyalty, a Pisces boundaries, a Pisces, and how they react to betrayal after being hurt. It could be you simply experiencing the silence of a Pisces after being hurt. That is a sign that you have, messed with their feelings in such a way. So I'm gonna break it down for y'all. So here, people think Pisces get angry because of one thing. What they don't realize is that Pisces usually stays quiet through 100 things before finally reaching their limit. So they have plenty of patience. Now, the very first thing is that a Pisces remembers the feeling. Why? Because a Pisces attaches emotions to memories. So they can see vividly of what's going on and what happened and how long it happened. Now, let's just say you lie and apologize later. Well, as an ending result, the outcome of this will be that the Pisces may forgive, but then they'll remember how it felt. Number two is that Pisces notice energy changes. So here, a Pisces will watch behaviors and behavior patterns. And I'm going to tell you, let's just say, for example, someone suddenly becomes distant. And how would it be, regarding the outcome, is Pisces will start connecting the dots. And this is how they find out. Now, let's say a Pisces, at times can give too many chances. And why? Because they hope people will change. As I mentioned, Pisces see the potential in every situation and most people. And here, a friend could repeat the same mistake. And as an outcome, Pisces eventually reaches a breaking point. Now, when it comes to silence from a Pisces, is a warning sign. So here, a Pisces oftentimes will withdraw before acting. And I'm gonna give you guys an example. Let's say the Pisces just simply stops texting first. As a result, this will lead to the relationship starting to fade. Now, number 5 is the fact that Pisces internalize pain. And see, they may process emotions deeply, but let's just say you give them public embarrassment. Then this will end up turning into a situation where the Pisces replays it for weeks. Now, one thing with Pisces, for number 6, is the fact they trust in their own currency. So here, trust matters more than words. And let's just say, like, somebody breaks confidence. The outcome of this will be the fact that their access to Pisces will be removed and yet limited. It will be limited and removed from there. So, which leads me to number 7, is that a Pisces sees patterns, and a Pisces compares your actions over time. So here, it could be someone, having gave, or it could have been them just repeating the same old excuses. As a result, the Pisces will stop believing the explanations. Now, number 8 is the fact that Pisces don't forget betrayal easily. So here, when the emotional memories stick, usually, so if a friend chooses others, repeatedly instead of the Pisces could emotionally detach from that person. Now, number 9 is the fact that Pisces oftentimes, they feel unspoken tension. So here, they could be sensitive to the atmosphere. Let's say the room feels awkward while the Pisces is in it. This could lead to the Pisces noticing before others do. Now, number 10 is the fact Pisces, they oftentimes test loyalty quietly. So here, actions matter more than promises. And let's just say the Pisces simply just stops reaching out. And as a result, they can see who checks on them and who doesn't. Now, number 11 is the fact that a Pisces can disappear. So here, I'm going to tell you why, because of self-protection. And let's just say there's too much drama that's going on. with, including with you, including, the Pisces into it. Well, as an outcome, the Pisces can vanish without explanation. Now, another thing is that Pisces for number 12 is they simply outgrow people. So here, there could be reasons such as, emotional growth, and that in itself can change the whole priorities of the Pisces. And let's just say there's constant negativity going on between you and your Pisces, and then all of a sudden, the outcome of all this is the Pisces slowly pulls away. Now, another thing to mention for number 13 is the fact Pisces need emotional safety. So here they could open up, carefully. This is why they open up carefully. And a lot of times it's because often others may mock their feelings. So as a result, the walls go up. Now, number 14 is the fact that Pisces, they notice inconsistencies. So I'm going to tell you why. Because of words and actions, they must match each other. And I'm going to give you guys an example. Let's say a person says to a Pisces, well, I'm here for you, but they're never available. So here as an ending result, as an outcome, a Pisces will stop trusting that person. Now, number 15 is the fact that Pisces absorb other people's moods. So here, I'm going to tell you why, because a Pisces is highly empathetic. So let's just say that a person or a friend is negative regarding the group. And as an ending result, the Pisces, will feel like they're enduring too much before leaving. See, now, number 17 is a Pisces feels like their kindness has limits. So here, I'm going to tell you why, because everyone has a breaking point, everybody. And see, as an example, it almost feels like a Pisces could be, feeling as though they're taken for granted. So as an ending result, the Pisces can become distant. Now, number 18 is the fact that Pisces, they notice what others miss. So here, I'm going to tell you why, because they observe details. And see, even if a person is fake, let's say a person is giving fake compliments, as a result, a Pisces ends up questioning their motives. Now, number 19 is the fact Pisces need time to process things and filter them. So I'm going to tell you why, because of the deep emotional reflection that Pisces has and embodies. And see, an example could be just a simple, heated argument between you and your Pisces. And as a result, a Pisces may respond later instead of immediately. Now, number 20 is the fact that once a Pisces detach, it's very hard for them to reverse. And see, I'm going to tell you why, because of the emotional closure. And I'm going to give you guys an example because, if there are repeated disappointments that happen, then as an end result, the Pisces will stop investing their energy into you or the situation. Now, metaphorically, a Pisces is like an ocean. You can throw one rock into it and see nothing happen. See, so if you throw 100 rocks into it over time, then eventually the tide changes. So most people only notice the wave in regards to the situation, but Pisces remembers every rock. So this is just an example I'm giving you guys because this is really why people do this. Now, I'm gonna tell you why, a couple more reasons, as I had 50 for you guys. So as to why you never play with a Pisces feelings. Now, a Pisces, like I said, they remember how you made them feel. If you embarrass them publicly, then like I said, years later, they still remember the feeling. They notice the energy shifts, and see, oftentimes, your attitude changes overnight. They will notice it. They will pick up on it. So when this happens, the Pisces will end up starting to, observe you even more. Now, another thing about Pisces is that of why you shouldn't never play with their feelings is because a Pisces will start to connect the patterns, even if they observe them first. So you could keep repeating, let's just say you end up, you keep just doing the same thing. Let's say you keep repeating, the behavior. Then as the end result, the Pisces ends up seeing the patterns. So that's how, in what we call patterns of recognition. Now, another thing with Pisces, they forgive before they forget. So when a Pisces forgives before they forget, like I say, the end result ends up turning to the trust. It takes longer to rebuild once it's broken. Now, another thing is that a Pisces tends to give too many chances, and see, what can happen from this is eventually they stop. See, now, Another thing is that Pisces may oftentimes absorb emotions that aren't theirs. So if they are placed into a toxic environment, they become drained by it. See, a Pisces may also oftentimes, experience silence or give silence, usually at times when it means something. Okay, so if a Pisces goes silent, it always means something. It's never done just for, nothing. So as an outcome, just know that your Pisces is processing everything. Now, Pisces oftentimes, like I said, when they're testing the loyalty quietly, they watch your actions. So they could do this in silence as well, because at that moment glance, they're observing. Another thing about Pisces is they can sense inconsistency. So here, the red flags appear more clear. Now, with Pisces, they also notice what isn't said. So here, those hidden motives, they stand out. Another thing with Pisces is they overextend themselves at times. So this can, result in a burnout. So that's why Pisces must always rest. Now, another thing about Pisces, they hate fake concern. So if they feel like someone's giving them fake concern, they will emotionally distance themselves from them. Now, another thing about Pisces is they value sincerity. So here they can, witness the genuine people stand in the situation. At times, Pisces don't like manipulation. So if they experience manipulation, like of any kind, they're damn sure not going to stay. So with this, it's almost like the trust collapses in the situation. Another thing with Pisces is, like I say, they can disappear without warning. So if you do something that feels like betrayal, like I say, if it feels like betrayal, it feels like something you're doing that is going against, what that Pisces is about, it will result in access being denied and the removing of the access that you have to them. Now, with Pisces, another thing is that they replay conversations. Okay, so here, those new realizations end up coming later. They realize things that they may have missed. Another thing about Pisces is they trust their intuition, and here they stop ignoring the signs. So it could be a situation where, you can have stuff going on, but a Pisces still going to trust their intuition. Now, Pisces at times, they notice effort. So here they know when you're not really giving it enough effort, or they just notice that you're simply just, giving it and not giving it. So here it's almost like actions do matter here. Now, another thing with Pisces, they feel betrayal deeply. So when this happens, the emotional walls rise, as I mentioned. And Pisces also, they remember sacrifices that was made. So here it can result in a appreciation or disappointment. Now, Pisces oftentimes, they see through excuses. So here, they're not going to fall for this. They also notice favoritism. They sense jealousy. They hate being used. They recognize emotional games that are being played. They spot contradictions within, people's, what they say they're going to do versus what they won't do. And also they remember promises. A Pisces oftentimes notice who disappears during hard times. A Pisces will also notice who calls only when they need something. A Pisces eventually stops explaining themselves, and Pisces value peace over everything. So the outcome is that the drama loses access to them. So a Pisces at times, they may need emotional safety. They protect their heart. They internalize pain. They can become distant overnight. They can stop fighting for one-sided relationships. They can stop chasing. They can stop, reaching out first. They can stop giving updates to people about, what's going on or what, hey, what's new about them. Also, a Pisces can stop expecting better. They can get into a situation where they turn the pain into wisdom. A Pisces can also become more selective over who, they hang with, or, any situation they put themselves into. They could also choose quality over quantity. So even if they only have one friend, that probably is like a good friend for them. They can also stop ignoring red flags. They can trust actions, more than words. They can become harder to fool. They can move differently after being hurt. So once they emotionally attach, they get, it's almost like if they detach from you, it's going to be much more difficult for you to get them back. And I mean extremely difficult. So the biggest mistake that people make with Pisces is that it's not just hurting them, okay? It's not hurting them. It's thinking that, oh, the Pisces didn't notice. So that's the, you know, to wrap this up in a nutshell. Like, comment, share, subscribe, smash the like button, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Love y'all. Thanks for watching.